the meeting to order at this time. Miss Stinnett, if you would, please do the invocation. Miss James, you could lead us in the pledge.
Please, we make our beginning in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for the blessings which you have bestowed upon us. The city of Fort Oglethorpe is truly, truly grateful. Lord, be with us this evening. Place your hand upon us that we may conduct business with honor and integrity and wisdom befitting you. We ask these things in our Lord Jesus' name, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes of the previous council meeting. Members of the council have had an opportunity to review these. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is communications from the mayor. We have a couple of proclamations tonight. Ms. Stinnett, if you would do the first one, please.
Yes, sir. From the office of the mayor, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, proclamation. Whereas a group of Catoosa County, Ringo, and Fort Oglethorpe public servants and business people met in April of 2007, seeking a common forum to protect life and improve the health of the citizens of our county during an initial threat focus of a mass pandemic. The group expanded later to include all potential emergency challenges which could impact the community. Whereas the group formed the local emergency planning committee to build professional relationships among agencies, businesses, government, and emergency services to increase cooperation, coordination, and interaction in the event of major incidents such as weather-related emergencies, hazardous materials spills, terrorist attacks, large-scale fires, and active shooter attacks. Whereas the LEPC, recognized by the Georgia Emergency Management Agency, develops and implements strategies for response to these incidents on a county-wide level, facilitates training, participates in local drills and exercises such as the flu vaccine drill of 2008 and Georgia Northwestern College active shooter drill, seeks and attains grant funding, supports AED placement in public facilities, creates volunteer participation by helping to start the CERT program and the Storm Spotters program. Whereas, as part of the LEPC, these organizations work to ensure the safety of our residents. Angel Emergency Medical Services, Catoosa County Coroner, Catoosa County Emergency Management Agency, Catoosa County Fire Department, Catoosa County Government, Catoosa County Health Department, Catoosa County Public Schools, Catoosa County Sheriff Department, City of Fort Oglethorpe, City of Ringo, Cornerstone Medical Center, Fort Oglethorpe Fire and Rescue, Fort Oglethorpe Police Department, Ringo Police Department, Catoosa County Emergency Response Team, Catoosa County Extension's Office, Catoosa County HAMM Operators, Catoosa County Storm Spotters, Colonial Pipeline, Dalton Utilities, Department of Family and Children's Services, Orlando Medical Center, Catoosa Family Collaborative, Georgia Emergency Management Agency, Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Heritage Point Baptist Church, National Guard, Catoosa County Training Site, North Georgia Electric Membership, Park Ridge Medical Center, Puckett EMS, American Red Cross, Shaw Industries, and SRT Safety. Whereas the planning, relationships, and teamwork created by the LEPC assisted in the successful emergency response and disaster relief to the September 2009 flooding, 2011 tornadoes, and support for other emergency incidents. Be it therefore resolved that the City of Fort Oglethorpe recognizes the 10th anniversary of the LEPC and expresses the appreciation of our mayor and city council and all of the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe for the endless hours of dedication to the safety and well-being of our residents by all its members. We thank LEPC Chairman Steve Quinn, Vice Chairperson Lena Duff, Secretary Jill Van Dyke, and Treasurer Randall Franks for leading the organization since its inception. We especially acknowledge all of Fort Oglethorpe employees who have helped the LEPC thrive and make a difference in our community over these past 10 years. Sir.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett.
Sir.
We have one more proclamation tonight. I would like to read this one from the office of the mayor of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Proclamation. Jerry Depkin Appreciation Day. Whereas Jerry Depkin has served our community as a historian, dedicated volunteer, and friend of the local government, and whereas she co-authored a book featuring photos and anecdotes from Fort Oglethorpe's past as a military post, and whereas she has been a vital part of preserving our rich history for present and future generations. Now therefore, by this proclamation, I, Earl Gray, Mayor of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, do hereby proclaim July 10th, 2017 as Jerry Depkin Day, and do hereby express the appreciation of myself and the citizens of our fine city to Jerry Depkin for her many contributions. Congratulations, Jerry.
Here, here.
Next item on the agenda is zoning matters. We have none. Next item is ordinances. First reading, ordinance number 2017-04. Mr. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2017-04, annexation, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof, section 1, that the following property owned by Donald Eugene Beck, known as 472 French Street, lots 8 and 9, AE French subdivision map 0002 F069, Rossville, Georgia 30741, is annexed into the city of Fort Oglethorpe. This particular ordinance is available in the clerk's office with a legal description of the proposed property.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. We have none. Next item, unfinished business. We have none. The next item, reading of the city clerk of any communications. We have none. Next item on the agenda is new business. Article 1, proposed approval for Republic Waste Agreement. Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Bringing before you tonight, this will be just asking for agreement to be signed with Republic Waste. This will be to dispose at their MSW landfill or site there off of Rossville Boulevard. And the reason is we've currently have been carrying our waste to Sandtech on the city truck, and we've got into some higher rate charges, mattresses that we're having to pay $20 a mattress to dispose of them at Box Springs. So this will be, there'll be no fee. It'll just be regular tonnage. There'll be no fee for the mattress. So see, this will save several $1,000s a year. We're spending $1,000 a month plus just in mattresses now disposing. So just asking for this agreement to be signed, and we'll be able to take them to that site. And also the tonnage rate will be around $3 a ton cheaper on the regular waste that'll be going there.
Thank you, Mr. Long. I have a motion to approve.
Motion, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 2 under new business, proposed approval to purchase Motorola portable radios. Chief Helton.
Mayor and Council. Police Department would like to recommend to the Mayor and Council this evening the purchase of 10 portable radios from Motorola Diversified Electronics is their supplier. Our purpose for these are quite numerous. One of the items I found when I first came into the department as I evaluating our needs, I heard our personnel state that radios were becoming quite a problem. They were having communication issues. I've interviewed each one of our employees and determined which of those employees are having the most common problems with their radios. I also found that the current radios that we have, a large majority of them were purchased as used Hurricane Katrina, post-Katrina radios in 2006. So they had a discounted price with those particular radios. I also have been monitoring the radio traffic, listening to them. There have been times when many of our officers will be in the same rooms, and some of the radios will pick up, some will not. You'll hear keyed mics when they're just doing nothing but sounds like they're hitting. They call it digital on the radio system. They do nothing but make a loud noise. They miscommunication with them. And the radio shop that we utilize, that this area utilizes, has been telling each agency that the expected life, the support life for these current radios is going to end December 31 of next year. So each time we send a radio in, they're letting everyone know they're going to be out of parts because these current radios have ceased production 4 years ago. So it's expected that we're going to have to replace radios eventually, some form of communication. These radios that are being proposed are the most common out there in our region nowadays. It's common among police agencies. That's why we're suggesting these APX 6000 models. We have a state contract price that we've been able to acquire. We would like to do a purchasing plan. Of course, tonight's not committing to a plan. It's just what we've established as a department where we replace them in increments. We don't need to replace all of our radios now. We just need to replace the ones we're having problems with. We don't want to go buy radios that are going to run out of repair life next year. That would be foolish with the tax dollars. So we want to purchase radios that have 7 years production left in their lifespan, and then additional 7 years of guaranteed radio parts after that. So we should have a minimum of 14 years life on these radios, which we've not gotten out of your current ones, probably because many of them were used. This purchase would be a total of $46,136.50. It's for 10 radios, and we'd like to offer that as a recommendation this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Helton. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Just note, Mr. Helton, it is being paid for with SPOS money, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
We talked about types of communication, and you mentioned it. These radios must be replaced with a type of communication. Is this the most effective communicating device utilized by emergency management and police at this time?
Excellent question. We all know there's a lot of forms of communication out there. We also know, if we look back, we have all as a community invested in a regional radio system. And these radios and the technology that is in them function with that regional radio system. Just any device out there do not do that. These radios are durable. They're common for police use. Police use, they take a beating. They can drop. Lots of things can happen with them. In fact, one of the radios you purchased in the past as a council burned in a house fire. They go through a lot of things. But it is common with their interoperability that they can, with the flip of a switch, talk to an agency in Athens, Tennessee. Flip of a switch, talk to Walker County. There's technology in these radios now that you can't get in anything else. And it's common that officers may only get out certain words like, I need backup, or shots fired, and that's it. And dispatchers will have to get these officers the help they need, and they need functioning devices that are designed to do what these are only designed to do.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Chief Helton? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 under new business. Proposed approval to award ITP 003-17, purchase of janitorial supplies on an annual contract. Ms. Simpkins.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a new bid that we put together this year. Currently, every city department in our different locations in Parks and Recreation and fire station, City Hall, different recreation facilities buy janitorial supplies from 3 different vendors primarily, and the rates aren't standard, and some of the items that we've used in the past aren't standard. So what we did in an effort to save money is work with all of the departments to make sure that we could come up with a standardized list of janitorial supplies that can be used in every facility, and that we could get those at a standardized rate off of an annual contract. So we put out the bid. We received 3 bids on June 20th. The lowest responsive bidder was Jacob Facility Supply Solutions in the amount of $16,000. Of course, this depends on how much we actually use. We approximate $16,000 based on prior years. We will have renewal options with this contract if approved. The first year will be August 1st, 2017 through July 31st, 2018. 2 of the bids were considered not responsive as they had minimum orders, and the delivery may take up to 20 days. These were out-of-state companies, and these 2 bidders only bid on the trash can liners, and this bid included everything from can liners to roll towels, glass cleaner, hand soap, styrofoam cups, gloves, Pine Sol, 100-watt hand dryers. So our recommendation is to award the contract to Jacob Facility Supply Solutions for citywide purchases for janitorial supplies.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions?
Ms. Simpkins, this is the supplies, but this is not the hands to use the supplies in the building,
That's correct.
correct?
That's correct.
You still have no movement in
That's correct.
for someone, okay.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4 under new business, proposed approval to make emergency purchase HVAC replacement unit. Ms. Simpkins.
Mayor and City Council, I would like to strike this item from the agenda for this evening. The blower for the HVAC unit that we're describing here continues to function. It's not in a great situation, but it also can't be considered an emergency if the blower is still functioning. So what we would like to do, our first quote was pretty high. So what we'd really like to do is put this out to bid and present a recommendation to you at your next council meeting to approve a competitively bid contract.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. I have a motion to strike item number 4 under new business.
Motion, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Vote is unanimous. Strike item number 4 under new business. Item number 5 under new business, proposed approval to award ITB 002-17 City Hall alterations. These is for renovations at City Hall. I have a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion to table this item until after our 2017 capital projects planning.
Have a motion to table this item. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 is tabled. Item number 6 under new business. Ratification of Mr. Rick Quarles as the Building, Planning, and Zoning Department Director effective July 10th, 2017. Ms. Simpkins.
Thank you, Mayor. We are very excited to welcome Rick Quarles to our team. And Rick, if you could come forward so everyone can meet you. He has extensive certifications, over 13 years experience as a building inspector in Catoosa County. We're excited to have him because in addition to being in charge of building inspection, Rick will also oversee the city's stormwater management program, GIS, business licensing, solid waste contract, and internal building maintenance. So join me as we welcome Rick.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Rick. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Do I have
Second, sir.
have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Looking forward to working with you, Mr. Quarles. Again.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Mr. Quarles. Item number 7 under new business. Proposed approval of deed to Doug and Rebecca McBriar for the abandoned Mitchell Acres Sewer Oxidation Pond. Ms. Simpkins.
The city completed Phase 2 of the West Chickamauga Interceptor Sewer in 2009, allowing the city to connect Mitchell Acre subdivision to the interceptor and to close the oxidation pond. The city closed the pond and surrendered our NPDES permit for Mitchell Acre wastewater plant to the Environmental Protection Division. This pond property is surrounded on all sides by property owned by the McBriar family. The city will maintain a 20-foot easement for the West Chickamauga sewer system and a 10-foot access easement from the end of Mitchell Lane to the West Chickamauga sewer system. So our staff recommendation is to approve to deed this property to the McBriars.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Ms. Simpkins.
So I have a couple of quick updates. There's a large GPS and Macaulay swim meet that's taking place on Friday and Saturday of this week. That's July 21st and July 22nd. So we'll be closing the pool at 4:00 p.m. on Thursday, July 20th. It will reopen on Sunday, July 23rd at noon. Also, Friday, July 21st is the opening ceremony for the Rick Honeycutt World Series at Lake Winnie. Saturday, July 22nd through Thursday, July 7th, the World Series will take place, and we encourage everyone to attend. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Next item on the agenda, City Council comments. Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I'd like to say congratulations to Miss Jerry Depkin. I've had the opportunity to work alongside her for a number of years now, and she's just been wonderful for the city, and it's been a real encouragement for me. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Crawford?
Yeah, I just echo what Councilman Rogers said. He was not only great to the city, he was always a great neighbor, and that's very, very important and tells a lot about people. And we're going to miss you.
I'm going to Kannapolis, North Carolina, an old mill town. There's always everything in old mill town, North Carolina. Their economic development has just approved $3.5 million in new stuff. They have old houses. I'm not sure they have a story yet about their town.
And,
It'll be fun.
and it's the home of Dale Earnhardt.
I'm one block off this road. Long road. It'll be fun. Thank you for the experience here. I can take it forward.
Thank you.
Is that it, Mr. Crawford?
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Childs.
Thank you again. I'm echoing. Welcome, Rick. And right now, it's awareness. We have some in our subdivision. Speed limits are 25 miles an hour. I have had some calls about speeding, and it's easy to do on good roads, and especially if they're straight. But we're trying to make sure we slow these people down before something happens. It's summertime. Some kid could get run over, or a senior adult like myself, if I'm playing out the road. But anyway, please slow down in these neighborhoods. I'm begging you.
Thank you, Mr. Childs. Ms. Stinnett?
Ms. Depkin and my friend, I was thinking of you the most when I was reading this proclamation because there's typos in it. There's grammatical errors. And I knew if you were in charge of that, there would be none. Thank you for everything that you've done for the city.
I'll be glad to do it.
It's good to know that you will still be around and available to help us. We need you. We need you for that. And speaking of grammatical errors, it is summer, and the Georgia DOE, that's Department of Education, has a lot of opportunities to keep the students reading. One thing that the teachers we find are most difficult is when the kids first come back to school after the break. They seem to have forgotten everything, so we have to reiterate. So Georgia DOE has all types of opportunities for that. Please take a look. All parents and grandparents, caretakers, ESSA A is now here. That's Every Student Succeeds Act with the state of Georgia. You will need to know about those things. And as always, our Tourism Association with the 2017 Vintage Baseball Schedule coming up August the 12th at noon. Mountain City versus Lightfoot. August the 5th. Yep. 26th, thank you. I've got to put these back on. The 26th, again at noon. And then that will wind out the whole schedule, the whole summer activities. Of course, the kids will be back in school then, so I hope to see you guys at more free, family, fun activities in Fort Oglethorpe. Mayor?
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Ms. James?
Ms. Defkin, we're going to miss you. Thank you for all you've done for the city. Mr. Quarles, welcome to the city. I know you'll do a great job. And I want to say congratulations to our new tax deputy for Catoosa County, sworn in last week. This is a young lady from the area. She's been around here all her life. She previously worked at the tax office. And I'm extremely proud of her because she's my niece. And I know she will do a great job for Catoosa County. So I want to say congratulations to her.
Thank you, Ms. James. Next item on the agenda, citizens petitions and requests. We have nothing. Next item, executive session. We have nothing for executive session. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.